Hey there, I'm the MadCatster. Am I glad to see you here? Well, we finally got what we were waiting for, the verdict in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. And it looks like the jury decided on a split verdict, and I'm going to tell you about it, and let's get into it. So, what the jury did in this particular case was pretty interesting because even though they found that Johnny Depp's version of events was more believable, they still found part of her claim, her counterclaim, to be true. And what that was Depp's lawyer had accused her in public of creating a staged scene for the police by trashing their apartment to make it look worse than the event, whatever that particular fight was, had actually caused. So she got $2 million for that, but that's nothing compared to what the jury had awarded to Johnny Depp. So Johnny Depp was awarded $10 million in punitive damages and $5 million in compensatory damages. And what punitive damages are, it means what it sort of sounds like is to punish. So it was to basically punish Amber Heard for accusing Johnny Depp of SA because the jury decided that those statements were not true and that she did injure him and his reputation in the press. So then the other segment of it was $5 million in what's called compensatory damages. So you can sort of guess what compensatory damages are. It's compensation, you can sort of see that, and it's to compensate the plaintiff for monetary damage that they suffered. And so while the jury decided that Johnny Depp was entitled to $5 million in compensatory damages, California law caps compensatory damages at $350,000. So even though the jury awarded him $5 million, Johnny Depp can only collect $350,000 from Amber Heard for compensatory damages. But that's still a hefty award. So he got $10,350,000, and there's probably going to be some fight in there for attorney's fees now because she got a partial victory on her claim. I don't know whether she's also going to be entitled to attorney's fees. That's possible. Many times there'll be a hearing in the court before a judge, not a jury, just the judge, to decide whether they're reasonable and whether they're warranted, and then the court will make a decision on what and how much the parties would get for attorney's fees and costs. So even though Johnny Depp won, there's still a lot of damage that's been done on both sides. So, it's clear that their marriage was not a very peaceful marriage on both sides. Although, clearly the jury didn't believe that Johnny Depp ever laid a hand on her. And I think that, we all saw through the evidence that her witnesses and experts really, it's like the Three Stooges, it's like they just weren't as credible as Johnny Depp's witnesses. You could just tell and as I suspected this would be the outcome, although I am surprised about the fact that Amber Heard did win part of her counterclaim. But, that's not against Johnny Depp. That's because it's something his lawyer did, and his lawyer should know better. He had said at the beginning it wasn't about the money. Cedric's here, by the way. Cedric's here to say hello to everybody. I don't know where Sybil the Enforcer is, but... So, it's still a lot of money. It's not what he was asking for. What was it, 40 million or 40 million, I think it was, that he was seeking. But I think, $10,350,000 is pretty good. So, Cedric. Of course, Amber Heard is the big loser in all of this, not just because Johnny Depp won his claims against her, but also because she's really tarnished herself, I think, by not only her testimony, but the testimony of other people in this trial that basically refuted the things that she said. So that's squeaky scratching, the scratching post for a change. But I think her reputation in Hollywood is going to be in shreds, to be honest with you. And I don't know, Johnny Depp really, his goal was to rehabilitate himself. And I think he did do that. There's some people saying, oh, but, there was so much negativity that came out. Yes, I agree. There was a lot of bad on both sides that came out. Clearly, they both have issues that need to be dealt with. And hopefully Johnny Depp will get his addiction under control. But I think Amber Heard is going to be sort of persona non grata in Hollywood now. And hopefully Johnny Depp will rehabilitate his career a little bit now that he's been vindicated by a jury. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it basically was almost a retrial of the issues that came up in that trial in the United Kingdom that he lost. So it's interesting how, one court found one way and the other another way. Although in this case, there was a jury, and I believe there was not a jury in the other case. I believe it was all before judges only. So that just goes to show you a jury of your peers is oftentimes more in your interest depending on the type of case it is. There's some cases when I've been practicing law where you don't want a jury. Like when I've done landlord tenant stuff, you do not want a jury. And you want the judge because the judge looks at the law, whereas a jury can sometimes be sympathetic. So that's why you, in those types of cases, you always want a judge. But clearly, in this type of case, a jury is what he wanted, and a jury was to his benefit, and he got what he wanted. It's funny because you can kind of get a gauge of, I mean, we know public opinion's been on his side. His fans have been lining up outside every day and trying to get in the courtroom and professing their support and love for him through signs, etc. And Amber Heard has kind of gotten the other side of the treatment. But when Johnny Depp was in London this past weekend, he had performed at the Royal Albert Hall, which is like a very, if you don't know, is a very prestigious venue in London. And he performed there with Jeff Beck, and he got a standing ovation. So it's clear that, you know, internationally, people seem to be on his side as well. Even though his dirty linens got aired in public and we realize that he's got serious troubles in his personal life, I think this did help rehabilitate his reputation. And I think you'll see him bounce back a bit now, maybe not to the exact level that he was at, but I'm sure that the offers will start coming in again because now, you know, one of the things that I'm sure, not just because of the allegations, the nature of the allegations, but another thing that the studios think about is reputation. You know, if we hire him and he's been accused of this is going to tarnish our reputation. So even though we might still like him and want him for a role, we're not going to touch him because he's untouchable right now because of what he's been accused of. And especially in this day and age with all of the prominence of the celebrities and other high profile people who have been involved in these types of cases, it's like a hot potato, you know. But now that a jury has vindicated him, now a studio can say, well, now it's okay because he's been cleared and the public's on his side. So now we can take him without risking our own reputation. We can take him back into the fold and give him some roles again. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly he gets back to work or how quickly he gets a big offer. So I'm going to be watching for that. But you guys tell me down below, what do you think? Do you think this was the right verdict? Do you think that both sides were judged fairly by the jury and that the decision that the jury made was fair on both sides? You know, if what she alleged was true and the damages she got for what she alleged about his attorney is true, then I would say, yes, I think that even though they did not believe her claims against Johnny Depp, she's still entitled to not have false things said about her. So, you know, I think it's fair. You know, it's fair. If that's what the jury found and they think the evidence supported it, it's fair. Amalia's here. And Johnny Depp, certainly, I think he deserves what he got because he got less than what he wanted, but I think he was entitled to it. And I think he's certainly going to get what he wanted most of all, which was to clear his name. I don't know if it's clear, but it's certainly been polished up a bit from what it was. So, you know, there's no winners in the court of public opinion in terms of the kinds of nastiness that we saw and heard about between them. If you take the serious allegations that she made out and just look at the conflict between them, it's clear that on both sides there's a lot going on. There are a lot of personal issues. They both need some serious help. Hopefully they will get it. But I don't know. You know how Hollywood goes. I wish Johnny Depp the best. I wish Amber Heard the best too. You know, there should be no hatred towards her. I feel that she's got some problems that she needs to deal with. And if indeed what the jury found is the correct verdict, then she really does need some help. And I think he needs help. And hopefully they will both get help. But now the interesting part is to see, is she going to pay him? What is she going to pay him with? I don't think she has that kind of money laying around. If she never, we heard from the experts what kind of money she was making. I'm sure she doesn't have that kind of money. So, you know, she'll be paying him off for a long time unless she ends up declaring bankruptcy. There's that B word again. And I would not be surprised, given the fact that I'm sure she doesn't have any work right now. She may end up going the bankruptcy route. When you declare bankruptcy, it's in federal court And in general, money judgments like this are considered unsecured debts. And if you file bankruptcy and the court grants you what's called a discharge of your debt, you can have those judgments discharged, which means if she is in dire straits and she does file for bankruptcy and she does get a discharge, she may be able to get rid of this judgment. So he may never see a penny of it, but like he had said, it wasn't about the money. It was about his reputation being restored. I think he's accomplished a lot of what he wanted to do. I'm glad it's over with. So now we can talk about some other things. But tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know your opinions about this. Do you think it's fair? Do you think she'll declare bankruptcy? Do you think he'll ever see a penny of this? Do you think he rehabilitated his reputation? Also, if you have not subscribed, please like and subscribe. We keep growing. We just passed 11,000 subscribers. I'm really encouraged. Please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. About half of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Amelie here, my old kitty, says, please subscribe for me. My cats will appreciate it too, because everybody's been so kind to them, and I'll put up my supporter information. This isn't as involved a video because I just wanted to recap. Some people had asked me to sort of break down the verdict a little bit. So that's the verdict. It's over. You all take care. Here are my supporters. Thank you to the Amazon angels who continue to bless my kitties with gifts and food and treats, and to my Patreon supporters who are helping me to defray the veterinary bills for the cats that I have each month. It's about, God, I pay like $400 a month in veterinary bills. So, and that's every month. That's not like, for a couple of months. That's literally twice a month, every month. So thank you to the Patreon patrons. You guys are great. Thank you to the channel members. We've got some new channel members, and we picked up some during our live stream. You guys take care, and I will see you in the next one.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.